Hi guys, in this video we'll show how you can use the new wind function with uDraper cloth simulation that we introduced in the September update. In the Draper simulation details, you'll find a new wind section where you can set up the wind's velocity in different directions, drag, and lift parameters. Let's set the wind velocity along the x-axis to 333 and click play. We can see the wind effect along the x-axis. If we add some velocity along the y-axis and simulate again, the wind direction will change. If we apply some wind along the z-axis, the skirt gets blown upward. There are also drag and lift parameters in the wind simulation section. These parameters are used in the aerodynamics and represent how a cloth resists and lifts because of the airflow respectively. We suggest you experiment with them in order to achieve a desired effect. There are also new physical settings introduced in the latest update, the damping and the drag. If we increase the drag, the cloth moves slower in the air. The damping controls how fast the cloth reacts on the fast motions. The higher the damping, the slower the cloth will change its position. As expected, if we increase the drag, the fabric reacts slower to the same wind. Similar to our previous tutorials, we can add the wind effect in sequences. For example, here we have this walking animation and would like to add a wind effect at certain moment. We add the Draper simulation component to the sequence and add a trigger events track to it. In the director's blueprint, we created this wind change function, which sets the wind parameters and then invoke configure Draper simulation function. Then we bind our event to this wind change function and assign required wind parameters. You can create several events for the wind with different velocities and directions to achieve a desired effect. For demonstration purposes, we've created this DraperWindSource blueprint and its extension for UE5 to control the hair wind as well. You can download these blueprints from the description below. Keep in mind that this blueprint isn't perfect and you may have some issues, but we hope it can be useful when working with the wind effect. If you're working in UE5, simply add DraperWindSource 5 blueprint into your scene. This red arrow corresponds to the wind direction. With this blueprint, we can change the wind direction and other parameters at runtime. Let's set the wind direction and start the simulation. Then adjust the wind velocity. As you can see, the skirt is moving but not the hair. So we need to adjust the hair velocity factor so wind effect will be more realistic for both hair and clothes. Then we can change the wind direction and velocity at runtime. You can also experiment with the lift and drag parameters to get your desired effect. We can also use the wind blueprint in a sequence. Let's add DraperWindSource into this sequence and add transform and trigger events tracks. In the director's blueprint, we add a custom event. Call it setWindEvent and then set up the wind parameters. After that, we can bind our wind trigger event to our new set wind event function and set up some wind parameters. Add more of these events to the sequencer as well as changing the wind directions. Now we can start the simulation and play our sequence.